Today, our podcast topic is going to be on human euthanasia and if it should be legal in the United States of America.
Request it and the doctor accepts it. We are going to discuss what the suffering is and our opinions on whether it should be legal or not legal.
We are also going to discuss the qualifications and the process of receiving human euthanasia in the United States.
We are going to state the states in which it is legal and the laws applying to it.
Human euthanasia is medically done assisted suicide. A patient who has no chance of living and who has requested to the doctor to be killed by taking a medication. The number of requests are 2 oral and at least 15 days apart and 1 written. A few ways a patient would qualify for human euthanasia is if they have less than 6 months to live or have to be 18 years or older, or physically and mentally capable of self-administrating the aid and dying drug. It is legal in the states of Oregon, Washington, California, Vermont, and Montana.
38 states have prohibited it in the United States. In Montana, the patient has to go through court ruling in order for it to be legal. In Oregon, Washington, California, and Vermont, the patient has to go through the legislation. The patient's physician and healthcare systems are also not obligated to participate in this process if they find it unneeded. Pharmacists are also protected by law from the prosecution for filling the aid in dying prescription for the patient.
I read an article written by Daniel G. titled, "There is Meaning in Suffering." He talks about how when his grandfather was dying, he admired him because even though he was suffering, he didn't let that bring him to the point of wanting to end his life. He suffered until death, and to him it made him respect his grandfather more. He says that suffering is what makes us human, and fighting till death makes us heroes.
I am now going to be talking about why some people think it should be legal. It has also been proven to be effective, but has rarely acted on it for the terminally ill person to actually follow through the action of it happening. Some people are wanting the federal government and the rest of the United States to have people realize that they believe that it should be legal because it's their right to live freely and have the right to decide when to humanely end someone's life.
It shouldn't be legal because, according to the article, active euthanasia should be outlawed. Giving drugs to a person who is sick is saying, "Here's a drug to end the suffering." But why not give it to someone who has just had their heart broken, or someone who has a physical or psychological disability? They want the suffering to end too.
In my personal opinion, I believe that it shouldn't be legal. If people are so desperate because they have been suffering for so long, instead of doing assisted suicide, they could be applying for something related like a DNR, which is a do not resuscitate. They should be fighting for their lives because they should be grateful enough to be given the chance to even be alive. People shouldn't be giving up so easy. I do understand that life is hard and that it can be challenging or that life isn't fair, but you should prove that you are better than your weakness and that you can overcome anything when you actually really try. If we allow assisted suicide to be okay, eventually asking someone to kill us will be so accepted that it will become something we are so used to, it would be like losing some of our own humanity.
In my opinion, I think that giving up should never be the answer when it comes to death. Death is a permanent thing you can't change your mind about. People who fight for their lives are the stronger people because sometimes we all come to the breaking point to where everything seems to stop and you feel like stopping too. We all face that moment when we want to end it, but if we ended it every time we felt that way, we wouldn't be able to experience half the stuff that we have gotten to see and do. If a person is laying in their deathbed and wish to die, imagine if that person was going to live for another day. That's a whole day you won't get to appreciate and spend time with that person. That's a whole 24 hours they don't get to live to see.
So overall, we both believe that a human euthanasia shouldn't be legal. Our findings are just a small part of what else is out there in the world. Not only is it like murder, but it's also like taking hope away from people who can go stronger and become better people.